Happy Friday, everyone. Also, that everyone should eat and drink and take pleasure in all his toil. This is God's gift to man. That's Ecclesiastes 3:13. And if I can be honest with you for a minute, I think a lot of us accidentally treat God like he's only interested in the spiritual parts of our life. You know, church on Sunday, a prayer group, Bible study, prayer time, or serving somewhere. And don't get me wrong, those things matter. They absolutely matter. But the book of Ecclesiastes reminds us that God also created the ordinary moments, the meal around the dinner table, the conversation with a friend, the satisfaction of finishing a hard day's work. Maybe it's the quiet evening on the back porch and listening to the laughter of your kids. Maybe it's the sunrise on your way to work. But the writer of Ecclesiastes, which is traditionally understood to be Solomon, spent much of his life chasing everything this world says should satisfy us. Success, money, achievements, possessions, status. But after experiencing more of those things than most people ever will, he came to a surprising conclusion. None of them were enough. Not because they were bad, but because they were never meant to be the sole source of joy in our lives. And that's where Solomon's wisdom becomes so powerful. He doesn't become bitter. He doesn't become cynical. Instead, he says something almost unexpected. He says, enjoy the gifts God has already placed in front of you. Not because life is perfect, not because everything is always going your way, not because every prayer that you've been holding on to has been answered, but because every good thing is a gift from God. And you know what's interesting? One of the enemy's favorite tricks to keep our eyes fixed on what we don't have. Maybe it's the promotion we haven't received, the house we wish we had, the money that would just show up in our bank. See, maybe it's the problem we wish wouldn't go away, or a prayer we're still holding on to. But while we're staring at what isn't there, we completely miss what is. We miss today's blessing because we're worried about tomorrow's possibilities. As we close out this work week, I want to challenge you to do something simple. Challenging myself as well. Pause, take a breath, look around. Maybe you're heading to work, maybe you're heading home, maybe you're exhausted, maybe you're carrying some heavy things. But before you rush into the next project, the next goal, the next problem to solve, stop long enough to thank God for what is already in your hands. Thank Him for the meal that you'll eat today. Thank Him for the people who love you. Thank Him for the work He's given you. Thank Him for the strength to make it through another week. Let's thank Him for the blessings that we've become so familiar with that we've stopped noticing them. Because according to Ecclesiastes 3:13, enjoying those things isn't a distraction from God's will. It's one of His gifts. And sometimes the richest people in the world aren't the ones who have the most. They're the ones who have learned to appreciate what they already have. Have a blessed Friday, my friends. Keep building.